Good morning, everyone. Oh, not morning where you're at? That's okay, because you can have eggs for breakfast, lunch, or dinner. Welcome to episode 5 of Three Eggs Are Better Than One. I am joined as always by Matt M. and Brian Haremza. We want to thank you all for the positive feedback from last week's episode. We thought that it was no conspiracy, that really you should be watching this show. That didn't come out quite right, did it? Anyway, we're ready to kick this one off. So, Brian, why don't you tell us your sunny side up of the week?
Well, my sunny side up actually goes to kind of what Brad said, and it's our listeners who've been reaching out and talking to me about the JFK conspiracy and what their thoughts are on their own conspiracies. One of our fellow friends, Brad, representing him with the shirt, Adam from Bama, reached out with some pictures from JFK, from the Book Depository Museum there in Dallas. And it's just been fun kind of interacting with people, hearing how their own takes on conspiracy theories as well. So that's been my sunny side up. Brad, how about you?
So, I was going to talk about the Eagles, but we're going to put that on hold for now. Just want to brag once again about the children. I mean, Kendall's fine. She's doing work, but the other two right now, Lotus with a really good high grade point average. Over the Thanksgiving break, she studied every day, which is really saying something when you're home and you're at a family's house and you're at the kitchen table doing homework at 11 o'clock in the morning on Thanksgiving Day. So very proud of her for that. Also, we're just a little over a month away from Frank leaving for boot camp, and finding out that a lot of the other kids that are have joined have not quite passed certain tests yet. And he's one of two that have been showing up every week. So I'm proud of him for being determined and sticking with it and doing the right thing. It's coming quick. We're all a little nervous. He's nervous, but he's not looking back. So that's my sunny side up the week. How about you, Matt?
All right, mine is not quite as serious as that. I want to talk about Costco. Now, that's how I pronounce it. I feel like I say the word cost, so it should be Costco, but people say Costco, but it's not Costco. I mean, what is it?
Well, that is good news.
And well, okay, so there's more to it. Now, for those who don't know what that is, it's a club wholesale store like Sam's Club or BJ's. And yes, it was featured heavily in the recent AEW pay-per-view because of their mascot people who honestly I don't really know much about, and that's not why I'm bringing it up. But we have a Costco membership around here, and it's the sort of place where you go infrequently, right? Or at least that's what we do because you're stocking up, once a quarter maybe. So what I learned recently, and my sunny side up is they do free shipping. Now, that that's not that uncommon, right? Amazon Prime does that, and you hit a certain dollar amount for Target or whatever, they'll ship it if you cross a threshold. But what I discovered is you can get any one item shipped to your house for free and they'll do it, even if it's like $10, which
Oh,
is
cool.
ridiculous. So we were there somewhat recently, and I found some sweatpants or something that I liked, and it was available in multiple colors. I got one, picked one up, brought it home. They're delightful, and I thought, I wish I had gotten, one of the other colors. So Sue said, "Why don't you check the website?" It's like I didn't even really think about Costco having a website. Checked it out, found the alternate color, free shipping, boom, came to the house. Sunny side up.
That is good news. That is good news. Now, I think I call it Costco, just so you know. I think
Costco.
it's wrong,
Yeah, I
but
don't I don't know. I feel like I don't always say it the right way. My
yeah,
brain has firmly decided.
Sue's a big fan of Costco as well. She does go once every, I say every other month, and she really enjoys being there. We usually get some weird food out of it. Like you'll get a complete gyro kit or something like that. It's gigantic. Just neat. There's so many different things there.
Crock pots.
Yeah, well, so we finally found a home for one of the three crock pots. Lotus is going to take it back with her to school. So
Ah, there you
Oh,
go.
one
nice.
down, one down.
Nice.
I just found out on my way up.
That's
Nice.
probably something on the not allowed to have in your dorm room list.
Oh, so next year she has apartment.
Yeah.
There you go.
That's what it is.
There it
There
is.
you go.
I'm
You're
gonna be
right
honest.
though.
I still have no idea what a Costco is. So good on you guys. Seems like a great place. I don't know.
I'll
But you
live
do
stream next time we're there.
but you do know who the Costco guys are now.
I now I do. I know who they are. I don't know what they do, but whatever.
Hey,
We'll go with that.
shout out to
So
them for trying something new. So that's
exactly.
you hit a new audience. We're all trying to do that, aren't we?
Mm.
Which brings us to hard boiled. Now I only have one thing this week, and I should have mentioned it that last week, but I had too much, didn't I? Way too much. When we got home to my parents' house on Tuesday last week before Thanksgiving, we had burgers and we had French fries. Not French fries, but we had burgers and baked beans and stuff like that. So there's like this condiment play, or like the lettuce, the pickles, the onions is on a little plate, and I for
Fixins,
some, huh?
the
What'd you call it?
fixins.
The fixins. I for some reason couldn't get to it. Like it just kept getting passed around. I couldn't get to it. Finally, I just gave up. I went to the kitchen and cut my own tomato and said, "The hell with it." Well, then Sue is eating her burger that she put the pickle on, and she said, "Are these sweet pickles?" And my mom said, "Yes." What in the world are we doing? Okay, first off, sweet pickles are absolute trash. They're terrible. They're terrible. And the fact that you're actually thinking you're about to eat a dill pickle and you eat a sweet pickle, it is completely two different tastes. Now, I have talked about this in the past, not on this show, but in the past. But the nerve of putting sweet pickles to put on a burger and not tell anybody? Who the hell do you think you are? Okay? Get that out of here. Now, I know there's situations where they're on a tray with other vegetables and stuff like that, and you can see what's going on there with the stupid little seeds and everything like that. But to try to trick me into eating a sweet pickle, man, that's grounds for dismissal as far as I'm concerned. There is no reason to ever eat a sweet pickle, but there is definitely off limits to try to pass one on and put one on your burger. Out. I'm out on sweet pickles. What are you guys thinking about sweet pickles?
So I don't know a whole lot about pickles. What are bread and butter chips categorized?
That's sweet pickle.
Love them. Absolutely love bread and butter chips. I know that that's definitely not the most popular kind. Not in this house, not in any house. That's the kind of pickle I like. I
That
don't
just
like.
goes to show. Just goes to show that how different taste buds are in this world. Because they are I will instantly throw up. I will instantly throw up. And it's not just about the taste of the pickle. It's about that you think you're about to eat something completely different. There's where the problem is. It's like dipping into some pudding or with a spoon, and it ends up being refried beans. No, it's not the same thing. Okay, Bryant, what about you?
Oh, they're disgusting. I mean, they shouldn't be made, and I feel like stores should put warning labels on there so that to make sure when you check out, they're like, "Did you mean to buy this?" And um,
That's
just to
good.
stop you if necessary, because I think they're trash. Yes.
Now, tomatoes, I'm not really a big fan of those. You mentioned cutting a tomato. I don't really like they're like wet and mushy, and it's supposed to be a fruit, but it's clearly a vegetable.
Well, there's always those weird rules about the
Yeah,
fruits
there's
and
always weird
vegetables,
stuff.
right?
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
like there's not always, there's like two that are like not.
Next week, I'll have a list available for you.
Yeah, okay. Put it on the outline. Here's where tomato is acceptable. When it's diced and turned into pico.
Yeah, agreed.
Yes.
I like tomatoes more by themselves with a little seasoning on them than more so than putting it on as a topping, actually.
Mm.
Like when I
Like a
grill
hand
my
fruit.
tomatoes, I like a tomato sandwich and I don't really need anything else on it. But adding it into a salad, I think it takes over the salad. On a burger, it depends. I don't know that I did there was this gigantic tomato and someone had to eat it. So I cut up some.
I
What
do
do you
like,
think?
I'll do like the sliced version with like the fresh mutts, some balsamic, big
Yeah.
Italian.
Yeah,
Yeah.
big time. So where do you guys land on onions though?
I love onions.
Now, in what capacity? Cooking them or putting them on something raw?
I prefer, I mean, I enjoy both of them. I prefer raw, but that's mostly because like cooked onions tend to be, they give me agita after the fact. So, raw onions, we do, white onions, red onions, we're onion obsessed.
Brian?
I've hated onions since I was a child.
What do they have
Uh,
them on the roller coaster? I mean, come on.
yeah, sure. I mean, why not? Yeah, that's why I was crying so much as onions. No, I've never been a fan. As an adult, I've grown to like at least if in small portions I can take them in food, but like if it's overpowering with onion, I just kind of pick all of them out. And even now, I'll just sit there and I'll pick all the onions out of my food still.
I'm actually a big fan of the red onion. I never really got too involved
Wow.
with the red onion, but now I'm actually like slicing it up small and putting it on sandwiches
Oh
like a
yeah.
hoagie roll and stuff like that. I'm doing different things with. I have about 6 red onions in the house right
Doing
now.
different
Yeah,
things.
different things with the
This
red
is
onion.
gonna sound ridiculous. What's the difference?
It
Like
just has a little
one's
more taste, and the red onion. I think the red onion is
More
expected to be raw.
potent.
You're not supposed to cook a red onion.
Yeah, red onions are like more potent, I would say.
Oh yeah, if you want the smelly stuff, that's the red onion, okay? Not so
gotcha.
much the yellow onion.
And really they're purple.
Yeah, they are purple, but they're
Onions
called
and
red.
onion. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, that's it for the hard boiled of the week. I only had the one thing, but we sure turned it into something else, didn't we?
Yeah.
So now I've been waiting for this segment because it was mentioned in our little group chat, and I knew this was going to be. I was very interested, especially during the holiday season. So we're going to go free range here with Bryant. But just remember what free range is. It is a movie you haven't seen that everybody else has seen, and he's going to tell it the way he thinks it went. So Bryant, what is your free range?
Well, as you mentioned, Brad, it is the holiday season, and with that, I thought, well, I would talk about a holiday movie that I have never seen before, and it's become a classic almost. One of the networks is actually going to run a marathon of it now. But I have never seen the movie Elf, and I do enjoy Will Ferrell movies, but for some reason, this is one I've just never taken the time to see. So I've seen enough commercials. I've heard enough about the movie that I have my own theory of the movie. So for me, I feel the movie starts with, Santa Claus kidnapping a child and taking it to the North Pole,
Yeah, it's normal.
normal Santa things. And then I do know that Bob Newhart is in the movie and he plays
Hmm.
an elf who raises Will Ferrell. I don't know Will Ferrell's character name, so I'm just going to keep calling him Will Ferrell.
You really
Uh,
don't?
no, no idea.
Okay.
I just Will Ferrell. I know him as that.
Will
Uh,
Ferrell the elf. Gotcha.
yeah, Will Ferrell the elf. Yes. So they raise Will Ferrell, and eventually he grows up into an adult man, and then they kick him out because he's an adult. So he goes to go find his father, his real father in New York. I do know that.
Played
Uh,
by.
James Caan.
All
I do know
right.
that. Again, no idea his name, so he's James Caan, and he runs like a book company, or he works at a book company, and his boss is Peter Dinklage. I do know that because again, I've seen the scene where he runs across the table and like tackles Will Ferrell because he keeps calling him an elf. So I do know that scene. I know Will Ferrell eventually goes to meet a mall Santa and meets a girl who we'll call her girl because I don't know her name. And the rest of the movie is him trying to connect with his dad and then trying to also help his dad become more in the Christmas spirit because he's a Scrooge of some sort, I'm assuming. And it eventually ends with Will Ferrell going back to the North Pole through like a Santa beam of light, I assume. I don't know. And he's an elf. Yeah. So am I close?
Yeah. Yeah, you're close.
Two eggs.
I mean, he wasn't kidnapped, but I think I know
I,
you knew
I
that, and you were just having a good time. I get it.
I threw that in for fun. Yeah. I think he like falls into Santa's present bag and then it just
Yeah,
happens to go back. But it just sounds better to say Santa kidnapped him.
his name is Buddy,
Oh,
right?
okay,
Yeah.
buddy. All right, good. I
But
no idea.
you're
And I,
pretty on the money,
I
You
know
really.
did
there's
real you did very well.
and I
Did you
do know
say
there's a
yeah, go
girl
ahead.
in the movie. I don't know who what
I was gonna say I was gonna say who plays the young actress. It's Zoe Deschanel. Yeah.
Oh, hey,
She
all
looks
right.
very different. She's blonde.
Yeah, and it's, 20 something years ago, so she's probably in her early 20s at the time, mid
So this is
20s.
probably like her first real breakout
I
role.
think it might have been.
Okay.
Yeah. And
Yeah,
I
because
Mary
don't
like
know.
Virgin is in the movie too.
yeah.
I don't know if you would at this point because you've heard so much about the movie.
Mhm.
I don't know if seeing it will actually do it justice for you.
I think I built it up enough in my head to my own version of what the movie is that I don't think it can live up to it.
No, I don't think so either. It's like
Is
seeing a
there
classic that
is there
just
a fist fight with a Santa Claus in this movie? Because I wanted to say that, but I'm like, I feel like that's not in the movie.
fist fight.
Uh,
Like he fights a mall Santa,
Was it a
or
fight? I know he says he smells like beef and cheese.
I know there's a scene where he like leans, he goes like I know this from like clips that I've seen of like he leans in, he goes to a mall Santa, he's like You sit on a throne of lies.
Yes, you sit on a throne of lies. You smell like beef and cheese.
Okay, see that part again. I only know that you sit on a throne of lies. The beef and cheese is new to me. So,
You're
but
pretty
yeah,
close. I'm
I
not going to say
mean,
you're not.
Really, yeah. No, really good job, definitely. I
yeah.
mean,
And again, all guess just based off of gifts and commercials and
right.
random stories from
Being
people.
on the planet for the last 20 years. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it's just a classic for some people that I will probably still never watch
It's a
again. So
contemporary classic. I'll give
yeah,
you 2.25 eggs out of
appreciate it.
three.
Nice. All right.
Now, I want to comment about Elf that I'm not actually the biggest fan of that movie. I do like Will Ferrell. I'm a big fan of the career. It's just, I think the movie is extremely childish. I mean, I was an adult when it came out. So my experience of seeing this movie was, when did it come out? I think it was 2003.
Yes.
So I went with my friend at the time, and it must have been, I mean, I'm sure it came out in December. It must have been opening weekend, and Lord knows why we went at that time. But we walk into the theater, it's pretty packed, and we are well above the average age of the viewer in there. I mean, there's families, there's parents, there's a lot of children. And I guess that kind of took me by surprise because it's not like Will Ferrell is known for like exclusively making children's movies or something, plenty of adult style comedies. So, we're kind of scratching our heads. The lights are coming down, and my friend leans over to me and says, "This movie's going to be all fart jokes, isn't it?" And the first joke of the movie is a fart joke. And I was like, this is unbelievable that this is really happening right now. And it was just kind of like, the kids are laughing hysterically, and we were like, okay, that was okay. But like I don't need to it's on, one of the cable channels, 24 hours a day on Christmas now, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
I mean, I'd rather put on Christmas Story, even though I've seen that 100 million times.
because it's the best Christmas movie ever. I
I mean,
mean,
it's not even that good of a movie. It's just
I could watch that all
Classic.
day.
I
it's
think there's some very funny
classic doesn't
lines.
mean good. It means it
I didn't
has
say.
timeless appreciation. So
I thought Elf had some very funny lines. I wouldn't say it's the best movie ever or anything like that, but there's funny lines. I do like when he answers his father's phone in the office and says, "Buddy the Elf, what's your favorite color?" Like this is very random when you're in somebody else's office in like a skyscraper, and and that's how he answers the phone. I love when he got the job in the mailroom, and that part, I'm sorry, that part with Dinklage is fantastic.
yeah.
That that's adult humor there to me. But it's for I think it's generally for kids though.
Oh yeah, absolutely. By
You
the way,
know,
that Dinklage scene didn't even know it was in it until like probably 3 weeks ago when I saw it in a commercial.
Yeah.
that's pretty
And
funny. That's a pretty funny scene.
it's got that charm of, it's got that positioning and that charm of, kids can watch it for the first time whenever. But if you were younger when you first saw it and now you're a grown up and you liked it when you were a kid, you still love it because you have that appreciation stuck with you even though you aged.
I mean, I was out of college, by 5 years. I know we're going to talk about how old I am again. I was out of
Yeah.
college 5 years when that came in.
Yeah.
I
I
was,
was
um,
I was in
um
college.
I think Kendall was on the way, like, so, um, so I was older too. So it wasn't something that I was seeking out, but I have seen it a lot now because it is on all the time,
All the time.
all the time. So, well, anyway, well done, Bryant. Very
Well
proud of you.
done.
Thank you.
So now I picked this next one for a reason. But I'm going to go ahead and we're going to go poached eggs, which is show and tell and memorabilia. And I know Matt's not a huge fan of this segment, and we're not going to be doing it every week because he says he doesn't have anything. But we are going to do it this week because I do have an idea for me. And but Matt, what did you come up with?
Yeah, I mean, it's not that I'm not a big fan. I mean, I'm happy to share and see what other people have. I'm just not a big collector. So this is not, I don't actually know if this qualifies, but this is what you're getting. Um, this this item right here, and I actually not sure if I've ever shared this with you guys before, is a very, very old catcher's mitt. So for those not seeing it visually, it's a very flat but thick piece of leather bound. It looks like a catcher's mitt that's like 100 years old. So to me, I think it's pretty sweet. It's got some old lacing there up and down the sides. It doesn't look like you could even fit your hand in there. And it certainly doesn't look like you can catch a baseball, and definitely not a
No.
baseball that's thrown very fast. So the story behind it is it's actually like I guess it's a family heirloom now. So my wife's family, we believe this belonged to her father's grandfather. So one, two, three generations ago, 3 to 4 generations ago, older than us. Um, Probably somewhere between 75 and 100 years old is my guess. It's probably not 100 years old. It's probably like 80 years old. Um, I've tried to look it up a little bit. There's plenty of things like this circulating the internet and eBay and stuff. I mean, again, don't care about the monetary value, but I think it's really, really cool. I love that it came from our family. I mean, I love sports. I love baseball. By coincidence, my first poached egg was a baseball. This just happens to be another baseball item, but that's pretty sweet.
So you said your wife's so it's her great grandfather.
Uh, I guess it's her great. Yeah, we believe we don't have any evidence of this, but just based on where and when it was found and amongst the belongings it was with. So
No,
pretty
it's
cool.
pretty cool because it's lasted and you still have it. Because I think that's
Yeah.
very easily, especially with the
Yeah.
shape it's in, it could be easily thrown away. But now it's important.
Yeah. So my wife I wasn't with her when she discovered this. She was in another state with her family looking through old stuff. And she sent me a picture and she's like, "Do you want this?" And I was like, yeah. Now you better be bringing that back. So
Very
pretty
cool.
cool. It's a treasured thing now. We'll give it to my son and hopefully it can continue on from there.
Very nice. So,
Poached from history.
my poached eggs of the week is going to be what we talked about them already in this show, and I'm wearing a shirt right now. It's a black shirt with like it's like a claw down the middle. Would you say, Bryant?
Yeah.
Claw
Yeah.
Okay.
marks.
Yeah, and it says Ref Adam. Let me go the other way. Ref Adam. I'm backwards. Ref Adam. So a little background. We were just talking about him, Adam from Bama, also known as Adam Hunter is his real name. He said I could say that.
Okay.
So,
I was about to say, do you
so
got clearance there? How do
I
you?
got clearance.
Okay.
So little I met Adam. We were part of a super Patreon called Ad Free Shows, and Adam was a member, and that's how we all met him. And then as time went on, we got to know him a little better, and then he joined the Kickout crew with me, and Bryant was also a member of the Kickout crew, and we were at an event called Top Guy Weekend. So before Adam was a wrestler, like in the independent scene when he was young. And then, he grew up. Obviously, he got out of it. He got married. He had kids. He got a real, got a job. I shouldn't say a real job. Wrestling's a real job, but he got a job. I mean, it was very part-time. And then when we went to the Top Guy weekend, we did a little wrestling and we talked with the referees there. And he somehow, but talking with everybody, got himself like a referee tryout or like got to go to a referee class. And now he is a full-time referee. So he started as a wrestler and now he is a referee and he's actually got his own merch. And I have Ref Adam here as the shirt. He also sent me, can't really see it because of the
He
green
just
screen here.
pops in there though.
So he gave me a picture of himself, Ref Adam, and signed it with his name. And he like this weekend alone, he's going to 3 cities to be a referee, and he's had actual wrestling matches as well. So I'm just really proud of him. That it's tough to start something after you're many years after you did it to start back up. He's still working full time. He's still a dad, and now he's refereeing again. So I just want to say I'm really proud of him. I'm proud to be his friend, and I'm glad he's doing something that he really loves. So that is my poached eggs of the week.
Love that.
So for my poached egg, I'm gonna go nerd for me. As you can kind of tell from behind me, I am a wrestling fan. It's kind of my nerd quality. And one of the things I did when I was younger was I was into what is called tape trading. And one of the people that I became a big fan of was a guy from Japan known as Jushin Thunder Liger. So one of the items that I was able to pick up from a shop that I was able to trade some people with, I don't know if it can be seen, is one of his actual masks that he
Wow.
has worn in the ring. For everyone at home, it has the horns. The only thing that threw me off was they put hair with it. So it comes with hair, which I thought was odd. Um, but I was like, I'll run with it. So occasionally I'll comb it just to make it look pretty.
Oh boy.
Uh, but to get something that's actually ring worn, that he has competed in the ring with and wrestled in, is something that I just thought was like a cool item that I just couldn't pass up. So this is kind of my
That's great.
memorabilia dump
He's
here.
a legend.
So, he is one of the legends of Japanese wrestling, and he recently retired probably 3 years ago, but to kind of he's always been kind of a figure there, and it's based on any cartoons, comic books now. Just the whole continues to evolve the character, and now in retirement. But I just always thought that was a cool item to have. So
Was that in that ridiculous match you made me watch? Was he in that? The one where
yeah,
everybody's thumb was up their ass?
yes, he was. Yes,
I know that nobody knows exactly what I'm talking about here, but what organization was that, Bryant?
it was PWG, Pro Wrestling Gorilla, was the
Yeah.
company.
So just to have fun, I mean, as much as a wrestling fan as I am, there's a lot. Bryant knows it is ridiculous how much he knows, and he had us watch this match of a lot of famous wrestlers today that were in it in this very independent type world, and they all had their thumbs up each other's asses, and yeah, he was in it, and that's what I think about from him.
Yep. He starts it off by going into the corner, and in his only way he can goes, "You put thumb in asshole," and the rest is pure comedy from there.
That's great.
So, back to you, Brad.
Well, thank you, Brian, for that. I am a fan. Um, I have bad news, Madam. This segment is I know it's your big week, and we're going to go to you. However, I forgot the name of the segment because I printed the down the rabbit hole part, but it's not down the rabbit hole. What is it, Matt?
It is called egg salad,
That's it.
which is questions. So this version of egg salad this week is called unnecessary questions, part 1. See how far we get. So I'm going to ask you guys a bunch of questions. I'm just curious what your answers are. Might be about life, might be about TV and film, might be about our experiences. Just want your opinions. No deep thinking necessary. Maybe some of them are even rhetorical questions that shouldn't be asked and require answers. But let's find out. But first of all, I want to say you guys have not seen these questions in advance, correct?
That's correct.
Okay. Correct.
Okay. Question number 1. Have you ever used the same bottle of crazy glue more than once?
That would be a hard no. I've never used it more than once because by the time you try to use it for me again, everything's all stuck at the top. It's like a danger area, and I don't want to get that stuff on me.
Yeah,
exactly.
Now, does that also go to Gorilla Glue? Because I can use Gorilla Glue multiple times.
I was hoping we would go in that direction.
Because I can get multiple uses out of Gorilla Glue.
Yeah.
But Crazy Glue, no. Like, it's one use and you got to use it all in one shot.
Danger, danger, danger. I'm telling you that right now. No.
Yeah.
It's funny because, they come in these really tiny bottles, right?
Mm-hmm.
Really tiny bottles. Mm-hmm. And even that's 10 times the amount that's going to be used from that bottle. It is the most wasted product percentage-wise that is on the market today. It's Crazy Glue.
Yes.
Now, I was
Absolutely.
just trying, and this, these questions come from my personal life experiences here. I was in need of a drop of Crazy Glue recently, and I said, "Oh, I'm pretty sure I got one in the junk drawer. Get on over there, and what do you know? It's solid as a rock. In the trash it goes. Another $7. All right. Well, we're all in agreement there.
Yes.
Question number 2. What is the middle of the street? If somebody's talking about something and they describe it as, "Oh, it's the middle of the street." What does that mean?
Well, to me, it means just the middle, like as in like I'm halfway across it.
Like where the yellow lines are?
Yeah, not like the middle of the street. Like I see what you're saying. Are you saying like a long street and I'm in the exact
I don't know
middle
what
of it,
I'm
like
saying.
90 degrees one way, 90. Well, anyway, to me, the middle of the street is you're standing where the lines are. Yeah, like the dots.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, you're in the middle in the lines. Like if there's lines in your road, You're just standing right in the middle, and that's what the middle of the road is every time.
So what if you're just 2 steps off the curb, not geometrically in the middle, and you get hit by a guy on a motorcycle? What does the newspaper article say about where you were? Doesn't it
You
just
it,
say you were in the middle of the street?
no, I don't think so.
You don't think
I
so?
don't think you're in the middle of the street. You're in the street, but you're not in the
Well,
middle of the street.
But what
as
is it?
someone
How
as
is
someone
that
who lives in the
described?
Midwest, though, where I'm assuming you have a bike lane, is that
Well,
Sometimes,
are
there
we like is
cities.
that a
sometimes.
difference here? Like, are you talking like, hey, I stepped into the bike lane and then got hit by a
Yeah.
bike?
I was hoping you were going to say what's a curb because that would have been pretty good. Cities have bike lanes. I mean, New York, Manhattan has bike lanes for sure.
Like
I'm
I
talking
see bike
about
lanes
I'm
something.
not in a city.
when
I'm
I go to
talking.
Denver, I see a bike lane, but like here,
That's
no.
the
We
city.
we ride on a sidewalk.
Yeah, so do we. So does my town, Bryant.
Yeah.
We don't.
But no, if I step off the curb, the paper article is gonna say he was standing on the side of the road and got hit by a car.
Side of the road. Okay. All right. So there's room for debate. That's the point.
Boy, I didn't see that one coming.
No, no, no.
That is hard hitting. Literally.
Yeah.
All right. Let's move on. Number 3. To you, what kind of gift is a stocking stuffer?
So for me, it'd be like razors, socks, and candy. Uh, s- and but it does get a little weird because sometimes I have a decent price gift that I put in my wife's stocking, like maybe
Hmm.
like a $50 gift certificate to get her nails done.
Okay.
I'm not wrapping that. I just want to stick it in the stocking.
Okay. All right. So, but there's a practical reason why.
Yeah, that's me,
Okay.
Brian.
Brian?
So I was gonna say candy was one for me. One that's become a stocking stuffer in my home with my family. Lottery tickets.
Mm-hmm. That's a good one.
So lottery tickets has become the big norm here in our family the last few years. But I'm also gonna like I want to say small like little trinkets, like little toys, things of that nature as well. For especially if you have kids, it's something that works out well for that as well.
But I
Okay.
also get trinkets because I also get little wrestling guys in there.
Right.
Okay. All right. A lot of good answers here. I mean, certainly being small is one of the qualifications. Being inexpensive, candy's a big one. Lottery tickets is a big one. But I'm going to get a little hard boiled here. I'm not a big fan of the marketing ploys that try to get you to scoop up some giant last minute gift or expensive last minute gift. Oh, why don't you grab Taylor Swift tickets for that last minute stocking stuffer? That's not a stocking stuff. Just because it can fit into a stocking and you can buy it at the last second does not qualify it as a stocking stuffer. Let's
Well, you're
keep
right.
to the
Well,
candies and the
also on
sweets.
that note, though, if you're buying tickets for Taylor Swift, they're on your phone. Are you going to put your phone in the stocking and be like,
I
"There's your
print
tickets"?
I print my screenshot, but I'm not
Okay.
putting it in a stocking because that's a
Yeah.
major gift. The
The major
stocking's an
gift.
afterthought.
Yeah.
The
And
stocking's an afterthought. We forget we even have it, and all hey guys,
right.
we can open our stockings now.
There's never been a year where there hasn't been a beat in between the tree gifts and the stockings.
100%. Yeah,
Yeah.
that we're not waiting to give the freaking Taylor Swift tickets in the
Right.
stocking.
I mean,
Right.
Taylor Swift was a bad example because
Well, all right, we're
No, but
not
it's a good
waiting
one.
to give
this is the,
Age
the
of the
toughest.
Elephant.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Good answers. Shall I continue?
Hmm. You shall.
Why does the paperboy throw the newspaper into my driveway instead of at my front door? You know what happens when he throws it to my driveway? I drive my car on top of it and park it, and then I can't get to it. Don't they want me to get to it? And by the way, this is the free local paper that nobody is paying for or asking for. What's the deal?
So I was a paper boy,
There we go.
and
All right.
and
Let's do
I
this.
didn't throw them at all. Okay, that wasn't the way we did things in Hermitage, Pennsylvania. I went up to the door, and I had actually when I first got trained, I had it for 2 years. When I first got trained, I had specific instructions on how everybody wanted those papers, and I had probably delivered 50. It wasn't, like this. I wasn't doing 500, and it wasn't at 6 o'clock in the morning or 4 o'clock in the morning either. It was an afternoon paper. I did it after school, but some people wanted it in their door. Some people wanted it in the bottom rack of the mailbox. Some people wanted it in the mailbox. Some people wanted it on like this little thing that like this little chair that they had on their porch. But I never just threw it. And I never, and plus also that putting it together and everything like that and stuff and making it like one solid, stop wasting my time with that. We get out of here. Like that takes too much time. I understand you want to keep it together, but there's a lot easier ways to do it than that. There's too much work. There's too much work in preparing and not enough work in delivering.
Mm-hmm.
Hard boiled.
Hard boiled.
I, much like Brad, am a former paper boy
Oh,
myself.
this is great.
And in our town, everybody had a mailbox, like a little mailbox thing that they had, and you would just a lot of people wanted it in there. I did have a few people, much like Brad, you just set it on the porch. That's all you do. I only threw one paper one time. I had a customer who had his sprinklers on, and I wasn't going to run through the sprinklers. So I was like, screw it. I'll just throw it. Not like I'm going to hit anything. And I just creamed that door so loud that I never ran as faster than I thought. I woke him up, and I was terrified. But normally, like Brad said, you have people will request, I want my paper here or here, and like you get those specific instructions. If it's a free paper, nobody cares, and they're just like, drop it off. That's why it's in your driveway.
How much are they paying this kid? They're freaking for the free paper. Like, get the heck out of here.
I mean, I don't know I don't know if it's a guy in a van, a kid on a bike. I have no clue. I have no clue. I can tell you
Wow.
that it rains every single Thursday, though, because it's always soaking wet when it comes.
So it's once a week.
Yeah, it's every Thursday.
So did it rain today?
It sprinkled a little bit. I would not
Yeah.
really call it rain. We had snow flurries yesterday. Actually, I got a snow squall warning today.
So did I. Yeah,
Yeah.
we're not too far from each other. I got that stupid
Yeah.
squall warning too. What the hell's a squall? It's so quick and pointless to me. But hey,
Question 5. Have you ever been in a squall? No, okay. Okay, question number 5. Thank you, former paper boys. That was good.
Yeah.
I played it on the Nintendo Entertainment System. Very difficult game.
I remember that game.
Number 5. When doing the laundry, do you turn certain pieces of clothing inside out before washing them?
Okay, I have to confess here that I am not allowed to do laundry in our house.
Uh,
Sue, from the day one that she lived here, took over all laundry duties, and I don't, and she insists on it, as a matter of fact. Now, I did go to college, and I did used to be a single gentleman, and I never, ever, ever turned anything inside out.
okay. Bryant?
I feel like Brad and I are like one here at this point because
Not allowed either.
I am not allowed to do any of my own laundry either. I'm not even allowed to. I'm not even allowed to do blankets of any kind. I can't even do anything with the washer, other than take the clothes from the washer to the dryer. That's all I'm allowed to do. So when I did laundry, I mixed everything together, whites, darks, everything. I never cared. I just threw everything in the washing machine. So turning it inside out never dawned on me, which is probably why I ruined so many shirts as well. So,
You know, I don't
Okay.
even, we've had a new washer in our house and dryer since she's been here, and I don't even know how to work it.
no, I don't. I'll be honest.
If you asked me to do it,
No,
I'd go to the laundromat. I'm going to the laundromat.
same. If I had to actually do it, I would be on the phone with Sue going, "What do I need to do to start this?"
Yeah.
And I'd be lost. And
This-
that's the only way I can do it.
Okay. As you can see, this was not rehearsed. So the question was, and I will move on, but the reason why the question was asked is because there's clothing that has graphics on it, or maybe there's a little bit more fragile. We'll tell you to turn it inside out. I don't really understand why. It's all submerged in the same liquid. Don't really understand. Okay. That was Unnecessary Questions Part 1A. Now we're going to head into Unnecessary Questions Part 1B. So, I'm sure you can tell by now if you've been listening, I love the entertainment industry, TV, film. I think that's been made clear. But I do enjoy questioning certain things that are regularly depicted on screen that I think we, the general audience, just accepts as normal when maybe it's really not. It's just the way it's always been depicted. So I wrote up the following questions. Number 1. Have you ever had a bad dream, a nightmare, and you woke up from that dream and just jumped out of bed, sweating? Like the Undertaker's getting up, but he's doing it in full speed. Or you just wake up the same way you always woke up and go, "Whew, glad that wasn't real."
I guess the reaction, it depends on who's with you because I mean, if you're alone, I don't know how I really reacted because you're kind of still half asleep. So it depends on what's Sue thinks because like she says I got up yelling and stuff like that and that I've jumped out of bed and I've done all those things, but I don't really remember anything except being afraid. So
Uh,
yes, I have done that, but it's all hearsay because I can't prove any of it.
Okay. I'm glad you said that. Let's go to Bryant.
So I used to sleepwalk a lot, so I can't really say I jumped out of bed, but I had casually gotten out and strolled around my house several times as they thinking I'm dreaming, but I'm just sleepwalking around my house and messing up my house. So I wouldn't say I've jumped out of bed, but gotten up normally and wandered around my home.
Hmm. Okay. Because whenever you're watching a movie or TV and somebody's got that bad dream, it's always the and they just pop up. And I mean, I've had nightmares, but that I have never done that in my life. The person sleeping next to me has never done that in my life. I've never been anywhere near somebody who's ever done that. They just show it to us like that, and we're just supposed to believe that's what really
I
happens.
think I've done that. I know that you don't want to hear that, but I think I've done that.
It's okay. You know what? I challenge you guys, and I challenge anyone listening. On any normal morning, you will wake up in the position you wake up in, and forget about dreams or nightmares.
Hmm.
You just woke up one morning. Lunchtime that day, ask yourself, how was I laying when I woke up that morning? You will never be able to answer that. That is an impossible question. Even if you consciously tell yourself, tomorrow morning when I wake up, I'm going to remember exactly how I'm laying. I'm going to take a photograph in my head and I'm going to ask myself later and I'm going to remember. Never going to happen. Impossible.
Well,
Impossible.
as you get older, you're going to wake up with bad backs and bad necks. And in the next 10 years, that's going to happen for both of you. When I wake up with a bad neck or something, I know the position I was in. Believe me, I remember it for 3 days. Sorry.
Different. All right, I've got two more questions. Number two. Do you eat Chinese food takeout right out of the carton, or do you empty it onto a plate and eat it just like you'd eat any other meal?
So you're going to laugh at this. So again, we eat from the same place pretty much every 3 weeks, I think. And then when I go get it, I bring it home, I hand it to Sue. She goes over to the kitchen and she has certain plates that she puts everything out and she lays everything out of the cartons onto plates and into bowls. Like the beef lo mein or pork lo mein goes into a bowl. The General Tso's goes in that goes and dumplings go over here. And then we have it all laid out and I do it from there. I do not eat out of the cartons.
Okay.
Well, you fancy big city people with your cartons of Chinese food. None of my places around here do that. None of them. It's all in that styrofoam container that
Okay.
has like the three little sections in it. That's
Yeah.
how all the places around here do that way. So none of them come in cartons. I have no idea what we're talking about.
Come on, the
I mean, I've seen
little.
them in movies, but like I've
No, they're
never
real
had.
though. They're
But
real.
I've never like in real life never seen one.
We take them out of the carton. And it depends on how much you order of something. Like if you get a pint of pork fried rice, that comes in a carton. That does not come in styrofoam. Now your meals might come in the
Sure, if
styrofoam.
you're getting the combo like a full
Yeah.
dinner,
I challenge you, Bryant, to order just the beef lo mein or the pork fried
rice.
rice. Yeah. And
Yeah,
see
it
what
comes in a
comes.
big.
Mm.
Yeah, if you order a single meal, I don't get the one with a three. It's just the one solid in a
Right.
styrofoam with the lid on it.
And it's styrofoam. It's not even like the plastic with the lid on it,
Nope, it's the styrofoam lid that comes down. You click it in.
like
Yeah,
the
totally.
environmentally unfriendly styrofoam.
Yes, very much so.
No,
So
pretty
whenever
traditional.
you're watching anything on TV or movies, they're eating with chopsticks right out of the container. I mean, nobody
Yep.
Ow.
does that.
No.
Ow.
Nobody does that for real. Final question. And I could have attached this to question 1B-1. When you wake up in the morning, is the first thing you do go to the bathroom and splash water on your face to wake yourself up?
I mean, first thing I do is go to the bathroom, but
Sure,
I'm not putting
you
water
enter
in
the
my
bathroom.
face. But I'm not throwing water in my face. No, not even close.
Brad,
No, I know what you're saying though. Yeah, it's a big thing in movies. No, I don't do that at all. I've never
happens every
actually done
time.
that ever.
What? So, how many people work on a movie set? I mean, dozens. You've got somebody wrote it, somebody's in charge of all the action. There's an actor, maybe multiple actors in the scene. And how many crew members? There's not one person there thinking, nobody actually does this. Why is this in every scene when somebody's waking up? They've just been feeding it to us and we've just been eating it up. I'm going to try to put a stop to it. All right, gentlemen, thank you for indulging in my egg salad. This has been Unnecessary Questions Part 1. And if there's a Part 1, one day there's going to be a Part 2. Unless
Why?
it's an album. There's a lot of albums that come out that are Part 1 and then the band never gets around to making Part 2.
I love the 1A and 1B, by the way. Really, yeah. I was really curious of where that was going, but now I understand. Which brings us to Eggs Benedict, and it looks like it's my turn. So it is the holiday season. So who in the holiday world has the greatest face turn in history? Well, that would be Ebenezer Scrooge. Ebenezer Scrooge, who is he? Well, he's the main character in Charles Dickens' novella, A Christmas Carol, published in 1843. Scrooge is a miserably cold-hearted man who only cares about making money and is indifferent to the needs and suffering of others. He's infamous for his greed, selfishness, and lack of compassion. He's intolerable to his nephew Fred, to his employee Bob Cratchit, and anyone that ever would think to ask him for a donation. But why is he so unhappy? Well, Scrooge is obsessed with accumulating wealth and sees money as the only thing that matters in life. His focus on financial success isolates him from relationships and joy. By prioritizing material wealth, he sacrifices personal connections, love, and happiness. Also, when he was younger, he lost his sister Fan. While giving birth to his nephew Fred, she died, and he was very close with his sister Fan. Also, he was engaged to Belle, even though he was the reason for the breakup, it still left him pretty hollow. So Scrooge has become increasingly isolated over the years. He rejects social connections, choosing instead to stay alone in his cold, empty house and office. The self-imposed loneliness contributes to his bitterness and unhappiness, as he has no one to share his life and no one to care for. But the story of Scrooge, Bob Marley's brother, Jacob. Come on now. Jacob Marley comes to him on Christmas Eve. And basically, Jacob Marley is in hell. They don't come out and say it, but he is. And he's carrying heavy chains, and he's basically warning Scrooge. He's got to change his life. He's got to be different, or else his chains are going to be heavier than his. He's going to be in hell, and it's going to be much worse than Jacob's. So he says he's going to be visited by 3 ghosts. And, Scrooge is a little nervous. I mean, it's a little crazy to see this ghost man, but he gets over it and he says, bah, humbug. Let's go to bed. So he goes to bed, and the first ghost that comes is the ghost of Christmas Past. The Ghost of Christmas Past is some good stories and some bad stories. The good stories. Scrooge wasn't always so bad. He used to have fun. Money wasn't everything. And they showed him having a good time. Also, meeting the girl of his dreams, Belle. However, over time, they show more and more obsessed with money. He does mortgages, foreclosing on people. And Belle and him break up. So that is what Christmas Past mostly shows. But the real meat of the story, what really changes Scrooge is not Christmas future. I mean, it is something, but Christmas present. Christmas present shows what he's doing now. And when you're living your life and the world is fast around you, we don't always slow down enough to see what we're actually doing, do we? Well, for that time, he did get to see what he was doing because he saw Bob Cratchit's house. He saw Tiny Tim. He saw how small of a home they lived. He saw that something was wrong with Tiny Tim. And yet, they were still thankful for Scrooge. And he also saw his brother Fred, or nephew Fred, who he actually resents because, let's face it, maybe he blames him for losing his sister. But yet Fred keeps inviting him over to his house for the meal. Scrooge is never nice about it. rejects him. But then he sees that even though he always treats him bad, Fred says he'll always keep inviting him and always cares about him. Which brings us to Christmas future. When he sees that he's changed people because of how negative he is, he also sees that Tiny Tim has died. And he sees some people laughing around a grave. Thinks it's funny. And he goes into the grave and he dies alone. So when he wakes up Christmas morning, he is a different man. He yells out the window, "What day is it? It's Christmas Day." He goes to his employee's house, Bob Cratchit, makes him a partner. And as you can see, he takes care of their family. And they looked like they live happily ever after. Then he joins his nephew Fred and his family for dinner that night. So it is the ultimate babyface turn into Christmas, and it brings everybody the Christmas spirit. But what is Scrooge effect? The Scrooge effect refers to a dramatic transformation in attitude or behavior, particularly in a person. Essentially, the Scrooge effect is a metaphor for shifting from selfishness to selflessness, and is sparked by the realization of external influence. God bless us, everyone.
Wow. I've definitely never thought about Christmas Carol that thoroughly before. That could have been a college course, I think.
So
It made me want to see Scrooged again. That's the one with Bill Murray, right? Is that
Yeah.
right?
yes, yeah. If I may, do you guys have a favorite version of A Christmas Carol, like one that you've seen?
Of
Yeah,
course,
Mickey's
the
Christmas
Muppet
Carol.
one.
Mickey's Christmas Carol.
Muppet.
Yeah,
Come
I
on.
say yeah, it's Muppet. It's always going to be Muppet
Muppet.
for me as well.
I love Mickey. I like the little Mickey with Tiny Tim. So my daughter Kendall is actually in the play this year. 20. She's 20. She's been doing it since she was 4 years old for the local. It's actually her where she went to the dance, and they also did acting there. And she's actually doing it again. And she was Tiny Tim, and I really do love that play. So I thought I'd
It
just
shows.
mention it. What's that?
It shows.
Yeah, I'm a guy. I like Christmas. I don't like spending money, but I like everything that's going on around. I like stuff's going around. I do.
Well, then you picked the exact right thing.
Anyway, so that brings us. Looks like we're gonna be wrapping up the show. But oh my goodness, socials, man.
So we are Three Eggs Are Better Than One, and we are cooking up every Monday morning at 6:30 a.m. Eastern on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, and everywhere else you get your podcasts. You can find us on YouTube at Three Eggs Are Better Than One. That's the number three, the letter R, the number one. You can follow us on X and Blue Sky, and now brand new Instagram and TikTok accounts at Three Eggs Are Better, the number three, the letter R. And our individual accounts at Yes Man Brad, at B Haremza, and I am at Purple Shirt Guy without the I. Brad, what is next week going to be about?
So we are going to go down the rabbit hole once again. You know Dasher and Dancer and Prancer and Vixen, Comet and Cupid and Donner and Blitzen. But do you recall the most famous reindeer of all? Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer had a very shiny nose, and if you ever saw him, you would even say it glows. All of the other reindeer used to laugh and call him names, but they never let poor Rudolph join in any reindeer games. Then one foggy Christmas Eve, Santa came to say, Rudolph, Rudolph? Where's Rudolph? So what if Rudolph didn't make it back in time? What does that mean for Rudolph? What does that mean for Santa? What does that mean for Christmas? What does that mean for the world? That's what's coming next week.
Right.
Well, that was fantastic, Brad. Now I can't wait for next week. I'm intrigued to see your rabbit hole on this one.
It is
But-
already finished.
Yeah. But we want to thank you guys for joining us this week. We've had a lot of fun here. We've shown you some great memorabilia we have. You've learned some great topics, and especially, Matt's fascination with, Chinese food boxes. But we hope you guys have enjoyed, had a great week. Have a great week. Enjoy yourselves. Always see the sunny side of everything if you can. The egg timer's been set, and we'll see you guys next week.